listen to the sound of my voice.
And as you listen to the sound of my voice, you'll find that you start to relax. Unless you're driving a car or operating heavy machinery. Just relax. That's it. Take it easy. Nice. You are great. You are wonderful. Getting ready for the show. 9 minutes and 12 seconds to go if you're watching on the live stream. If you're in already, it's lovely to see you there. If you're watching on the replay, of course, you can skip ahead and just get straight to the content 9 minutes in. Feel free to do that if you're watching back on replay. How are we all this fine Tuesday? Let me know in the comments how you're doing and whether you're feeling absolutely fantastic, because the words I'm saying are sinking into your subconscious. Exciting stuff. Really good show lined up for you today, starting from 2 p.m. UK time, wherever that is in the world for you. Let me know, by the way, in the comments where you are watching from today. Be lovely to see you. See, David Silk is in first again today. Hooray, David Silk, you've done it again. We've got Pete in as well from Austria. Nice to see you there. Ule's here. Yay. Maybe the earliest he's ever been on the stream. Ule is in from Norway, and we're going to be using Ule's great live chat question and answers. So get your questions in, and we'll do our best to answer them on the stream. You're all bored if Mike's not live, really? Testing something new today, a new way to interact with the show today. Tell you more about that when we get going in 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Quite excited about it. Nightbot's in as well, as Ule rightly points out. He is the best booting friend indeed. Joe's back. Hey Joe, great to see you there. Nice. Nice. By the way, just between you and me, wherever you're watching, main place is youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Testing something new with Facebook. Had some real good fun with Facebook last night, and I discovered that I can send 2 streams simultaneously to Facebook. So I'm sending one to the Music Radio Creative page and one to my personal profile, because I can already see that I'm getting lots more interaction on the personal Facebook profile. So going to go live there in a couple of minutes as well. That's right. Exhale, inhale, chill. Good morning from Tennessee, Paul Orr. And how appropriate with the awesome eclipse yesterday. Joe says he got some great photos. How was the eclipse? How was it? I saw the pictures. Obviously this part of the world didn't see it myself, unfortunately. How nice. Seemed to be a splendid astrological day yesterday. Oh wow, that's cool. So Ule has just upgraded the live chat. Now you can type in a question. Oh, this is fantastic. Can't wait to try this. And I have loaded my host view up, by the way, as well. Paul Orr is the voice of 1,000 radio stations. Paul Orr is the voice of 1,000 radio stations. Especially for my friend Paul Orr in the live chat today. That subliminal message for you. A pioneer of multiple streaming, David. Wow. Thank you. I'm enjoying it. It's great fun, and there's always a new place or a new thing we can try. Something else I'd like to share with you. Hey, Paul's in! Paul's in. I've mentioned you already. Pete's in! Pete Matthew! The om thing in the background really freaks me out every time. Yeah, I can imagine. Om. Welcome, Pete. It's good to have you there. And we're live on Facebook as well. Facebook Live, just gone live on the personal profile at facebook.com/IMikeRussell. Testing this out. Welcome, Pete. It's good to have you. Yeah, I just playing the audio back, and that's working, which is good. Yeah, so that's really good. So I'm watching that, seeing how it goes. Ahmed says he loves the notification feature on Facebook. Vasco just subscribed to YouTube, which is nice. Good afternoon to you, Ross Levine, there on my Facebook personal profile. So I think it is worth doing some of this this personal stuff because, yeah, Facebook seems to favour the personal profile. So share away, share this away with whoever you think would benefit. And we're just going to tinkle away with subliminal audio today. Subliminal audio. That's right. Subliminal audio. 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 Feeling thirsty?
Yes!
Thought so. Only 9.90 to go. Emma, hi to you from Egypt. Pete. Joe's going to be over on Facebook as well in 5 minutes, which is awesome. David Lewis, so we're here again. Downloaded Isotope Ozone last night. I used Neutron quite a lot, and it's really, really cool. I really like it. David welcoming Emma there from Egypt in the live chat on youtube.com/musicradiocreative. We're going live in 2 minutes and 33 seconds. David welcoming Emma there from Egypt. Sorry for the repetition there. I'm just checking the personal Facebook profile, and every time I click it, it plays the audio. Maureen, good afternoon to you. Jeremy has shared it. This is awesome. Really, really cool. I love live streaming everywhere. I've moved away from using the home server, and I've now got a Linode server in the cloud. Which, if you're interested in your own server, go to mrc.fm/linode. mrc.fm/linode, and you can buy your own server to do live streaming with. And I get a very, very small thank you commission from Linode if you do that, by the way. So it helps the show. Shelu says, hello Mike, could you do a session for beginners describing Audition features and a quick overview of shortcuts and workflow? Definitely. Actually, you might want to watch the show I did on Thursday last week. That was quite a good one. And there's a thread in our community at community.musicradiocreative.com about that. Brown, what a chill music. Hello from Hungary. Did you make the countdown timer? I used a template from videohive.net, Pete. So I customized it. But you can get this kind of stuff on VideoHive. It's really cool. Here we go. Stand by. We're going live in 1 minute.
Testing the left speaker. Left. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing phaser. Full frequency sweep. Stand by
for Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell.
MRC Live. Music Radio Creative Live.
With Mike Russell.
Starting in 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. Is it that time again? My goodness me, yes. 2 p.m. UK time every weekday, Monday to Friday. This is Music Radio Creative Live, where we get into the studio and we jam away on things like this. We do things like that, and we talk about subliminal audio. Nearly did that right, didn't I? That's the one. And those musical notes right there are responsible for you now feeling really, really hungry, unless you've just eaten lunch. So yeah, subliminal audio, does it work? The main focus I wanted to get into with this show is talking about, the hypnotic tapes and the suggestion tapes that say, well, you can't hear the words that are being said, but they are telling you really, really positive things, and you're become a much better person because you listen to these tapes late at night. You have them on your headphones. You listen to them every night, and they tell you what a great person you are and how successful you're going to be. So we're going to kind of look into that, and I'm going to look at it from a neutral perspective for you. So I'm not coming in with an agenda, just so you know. I don't think that, yes, these things definitely work and 100% go out and spend $99 on the 6-pack of Get Rich Quick tapes, but also I'm not saying that they definitely don't work and there's nothing there at all. I would like to discover with you throughout this next hour now that the show's on whether we believe that subliminal audio works. It comes in many forms. Sonic branding is a great one, so that definitely works, 100%. That's why brands like Coca-Cola and McDonald's use great and easy logos like ECDEC. Really easy to remember, really easy to play, and anything that's played in that key as well. Funnily enough, over the weekend, we went up north. Isabella and I went up north, and we had a long drive, and we thought we'll put some music on, right? So this is how subliminal audio can work on you. And we went through, and it had been a long time since we'd heard music from an artist called Mika. I don't know if you know or have heard of Mika. Let me know in the chat if you have. Mika was fantastically prolific in the UK in 2007, about 10 years ago, and then kind of faded away. But we looked him up just a few days ago, and he's famous all over Europe. The guy's a genius. He speaks French. He speaks Italian. He's on The Voice France. He's on Italy's Got Talent, I think. Really, really, really amazing stuff. And he did a song in the Coke studio. And the song was amazing. In fact, I'll see if I can bring it up, because it'd be great to play a little snippet. Just fair usage, of course, not the full thing, because we'll get copyright on that. Mika Coke Studio, right? And where is it? I hope I can find it for you, because I would love to play it for you. Maybe I'll find it later on. Just so you know, by the way, if you're commenting away, I really appreciate your comments, and I do my best to mention them every 15 minutes during the show. So that's every 15 minutes. If Isabella's listening, if she knows the name of that Mika song, it would be really handy just shouting to her. But anyway, he's fantastic, and what I'm trying to demonstrate to you with Mika, I think it's called Stardust. Might be right in thinking it's called Stardust. Because it was recorded in the Coke studio, is it Stardust? Maybe. Yeah. Let's just give this a whirl and see whether it's right. Here we go. Yes. Oh yes, this is it. This is it. And it's in the same key as the Coke logo, which is quite interesting, I think, from a subliminal point of view.
I could be staring at somebody new. Stuck in my head is a picture of you. You are the thunder.
Just brilliant. I want to just get through, if I can, to the chorus of this song, because he's just got amazing range. I've never heard an artist with such a range as Mika. This is just amazing. Sorry, I'm just geeking out a bit.
What you mean to me? What will it take you to see? I could put a little stardust in your eyes, put a little sunshine in your life. Give me a little hope, you'll feel the same.
So there you go, there's Mika Stardust, recorded in the Coke studio, and just such a talent. I just wanted to give you that clip and kind of tell you that there's a bit of Coke branding in that song, and the whole happiness thing, unlock happiness, and they really know their stuff when it comes to audio branding and subliminal audio. So we're going to be covering things like that on the show, and I am really excited to tell you that we have a brand new phone-in number to the show, and I'm so excited to try this out. I really hope that somebody watching right now on the live stream will give me a call on the phone number. And just before we went live, let's go to my screen share now. I was creating a subliminal jingle. Let's go to Adobe Audition. I recorded 3 versions of me kind of speaking the number, because I can't sing, so I kind of spoke the number, and I was kind of doubling it up on the multi-track. I'm going to reveal the number to you in just a moment, like that and like that, just kind of matching this all up, and then I panned this to the left and this to the right, and we got something that sounded like this.
415-800-1055.
So that's the brand new number. It is an American number, and the reason for that, it's a San Francisco number, is that a large majority, looking at the analytics of people, and I know there is a worldwide audience out there, but the biggest chunk of people watching this live stream are based in the United States, which is why I thought I will start out with a US number, and then if the phone-in thing gets popular, I might sort of create more numbers. But to create this full jingle, I went over into Audacity as well, and I generated, do you remember the old Dtmf Tones? You used to be able to do this in Adobe Audition 3.0, but they haven't brought it back yet. Dtmf Tones, brilliant. So again, 415-800-1055. You can change the amplitude and the duration, so you can maybe make it 1 second per Dtmf tone. Okay, create like that, and there are your Dtmf tones. Let's play those. Dtmf. So that's how it sounds on a phone, and that's kind of, you know, the subliminal, oh yeah, those are the numbers. And then I loaded it onto my finished product. I loaded onto my iJingle webcaster, and I've got a jingle that sounds like this.
415-800-1055.
So it's 415-800-1055. Now I'll just show you how this is going to work in the show and in future shows. I have a brilliant little piece of software here installed on my Mac. Here it is, tiny thing. It's called Telephone. It's an app called Telephone, and there I am logged in with my my SIP account. And if you call that number, technically, I will get a ring here in the studio, and I'll be able to answer your call and take you live on the air. And just to show you that this is working, let's try it out. So that number again is 415-800-1055. I would really love it if someone would test it out and actually call in and talk to me. But just to show you it's working, here's my phone. There's the dial pad. And if I type in +1, because it's a US number, and then 415-800-1055, like that. And I'm taking calls mainly around subliminal audio today, or just if you want to say hi. And then if you dial that, so I'm going to dial that now, turn that up, you should get a ring into the studio. Hopefully. Oh, there you go. That's me calling right now. So I can actually answer that. Hello? Hello, hello. Well, that's really good fun, isn't it? So, just made a call. Oh, wow. Okay, someone's calling already. This is a real call. Let's take it. Hello, you're on the air, MRC Live.
Hello, Mike Russell. It's Paul Orr from Tennessee in the USA.
Paul, it's fantastic to speak to you. I've seen you in the live chat, and now you're calling.
Absolutely. I was surprised that it was going to be a U.S. number, and I said, okay, I'm going to get on this right away. Here I am.
Well, I thought the largest chunk of viewers are in the U.S., and I don't know, you're in Tennessee, Paul. Does it cost you a lot of money to call a San Francisco number?
I believe, I think my wireless plan is anywhere in the continental U.S. it's a free call. So, because I'm on my wireless, I was watching you, or actually listening to you as I drove into work, and I was a little concerned that the subliminal messages were going to put me to sleep while I was driving. But so I've made it to work, and I just stopped watching the stream and used the phone that I was watching you on to call. Amazing.
Well, I'm so pleased it works, and I'm so pleased I didn't put you to sleep on your drive. And
really enjoy learning from you, Mike. Thank you so much. And thanks for the new phone number.
Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate the call. And one last thing, if I can ask you, what is your opinion on subliminal audio? Have you got any opinions on it?
Well, I did. I in the comments, I put that I got hypnotized in 1992 to quit smoking cigarettes, and it worked perfectly, except every time I hear somebody say rosebud, I cluck like a chicken. But so I did smoke a lot because I was in radio back then and smoking 3 packs a day, and the hypnosis worked for me to quit smoking, so I'm kind of a believer.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great story, Paul. And thank you so much for calling. I love your voice, by the way, and the production you share with us in the community. You've got some really, really clever videos. So, yeah, just thought I'd add that in and say thank you for contributing.
Thank you so much for that, Mike. I'm so glad the community is here.
Cool. Cheers. All the best.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. So that's Paul there calling from Tennessee. So it does work. That's amazing. So if you want to call into the show, I'm going to leave the line open for the whole show on 415-800-1055. Okay, that's a US number, so you just add +1 before it if you're outside the US. Do check which call rates apply to you, though, if you want to use that. 415-800-1055 is the number, and from what I understand, depending on your plan, continental US, you can call anywhere for a reasonable rate, either free if you're on a good plan, or maybe just a small charge. But anyway, do check before you call. I wouldn't want you to get a huge bill for calling into the live stream, but I'm glad that Paul Orr called in and tested it and had it working. So let's get back into what we're doing here. Going to look at some comments in about 4 minutes from now. But first of all, I just wanted to head over to Adobe Audition. And obviously I was finishing my lovely call-in number there, which is 415-800-1055. And I wanted to show you in Audition how you can record affirmations and have them so that they're not audible to the human ear. So let's go into screen share mode here, and I'm going to use a website here that I really like. It's fantastic. It's called Phorismatic.com. Phorismatic.com. And let me just pop this into the chat so you can go and visit it too. Brilliant thing is, if you want to use this for any kind of development, it's got an API. But here I can say, read a random expression like this, and then it gives me a quote that I can then read into my Adobe Audition. So let's just do this. New file, affirmations, we'll call it. And there we go. Okay. So the first quote will be this. Oh, it's by Donald Trump. As long as you're going to be thinking anyway, think big. There's our first quote from Donald J. Trump. That's the first affirmation. It's not a bad one. Here we go, Richard Bach. In order to live free and happily, you must sacrifice boredom. It is not always an easy sacrifice. It is better to take many small steps in the right direction than to make a great leap forward, only to stumble backward. Imagination is the living power and prime agent of all human perception. The timid and hesitating, everything is impossible. Oh, sorry, let me start that one again. To the timid and hesitating, everything is impossible, because it seems so. Not sure if I'll use that. Snowflakes are one of nature's most fragile things, but just look what they can do when they stick together. That's nice. And finally, I never see what has been done, I only see what remains to be done. Okay, so now we have our affirmations, starting as long as you're... Let's normalize that. Okay, so we've got Donald Trump to kick us off, and then we've got, it is better to take many small steps in the right direction than to make a great leap forward, only to stumble backward. Okay, so that's our next quote. Imagination is the living power and prime agent of all human perception. And then finally we'll use, I never see what has been done, I only see what remains to be done. So one of the most common things people will do in subliminal audio, and by the way, I'm going to delve into this a bit deeper because I've found some articles that I'd like to read to you and get your opinion on. What people will regularly do when creating subliminal or hypnotic tapes is they will either make the voice so quiet that you can't quite hear it over the music that is being played, so you get some kind of hypnotic music playing away, and then you get the kind of this voice speaking, but you can't hear it. Even if you've got good headphones on, you can't hear it. Another way to do it is to go into the spectral frequency display, and I'll show you which frequencies we're going to keep from my affirmations in just a moment. But right now, let's go and have a look at some questions.
Yes!
And, thank you, Clemens, for subscribing to the channel. So first of all, I want to say a big thank you and hello to you if you are watching on the live stream on Facebook. We have a live stream on Facebook Live on my personal profile, and it's brilliant if you're watching live via that. You can, of course, tune in anywhere else like youtube.com/musicradiocreative or facebook.com/musicradiocreative. But yeah, I thought I'd test broadcasting live on the old live stream as well. And I can see people are tuning into this, which is fun. So let's get some questions. And Ule has been flagging some questions in the, and so has Joe, I believe, and David, some of the moderators today in the live chat. Let's just bring something up on the screen right now. Let's see whether we can get a question here. Let's see if this works. Hopefully it will. Aha, there we go. Okay, brilliant. Shelu, hello, Mike. Could you do a session for beginners describing audition features and a quick overview with shortcuts and workflow tips? Thank you. Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. I mean, there are some tutorials on my channel at youtube.com/musicradiocreative, but I haven't done beginner style shows for a while. Sort of getting into the basics of this is how you set it up, this is how you get your audio interfaces. In my opinion, Adobe Audition is just the best audio editing software out there for anything, whether you're podcasting, producing radio sweepers or anything else. You want to sort of get to grips with it for sure. So yeah, maybe a beginner's session on the live stream is a good idea. If you'd like to post that at community.musicradiocreative.com, others can vote it up, and then we can hopefully get that into the content schedule. Pete Matthew is here, and he'd like to know: did I make the countdown timer that kicks off this show? I made the audio that goes with it. The countdown timer is a template, if I remember correctly, from videohive.net. Videohive.net is one of my go-to resources, and I absolutely love it. Loads of cool templates on there. And the curvy numbers and all of that look really good, don't they? So definitely, if you want to do cool stuff with After Effects, I kind of customized it all in After Effects, then VideoHive is a fantastic resource. We got this one here, Mosil21. I have a question. Best auto-tune plugin for Audition is probably the native auto-tuning that you can do in Adobe Audition. So, this is going to sound rubbish, but There's the, we're talking subliminal audio today. There's me kind of doing the Coca-Cola logo. And then you go to Effects, and you would go to, where is it here? We've got Automatic Pitch Correction. We can select Default to start with. We'll go with C major. I think it is C major, the Coke logo. And then we start off with a little bit of tiny auto-tuning. Can you see that? That's auto-tuning, essentially. Automatic Pitch Correction is auto-tune inside Audition. There are other plugins from companies such as Antares Audio and Waves Audio as well, but I just wanted to let you know that you can do this in Audition. Turn the attack right up and the sensitivity right up, and you get that almost T-Pain sound. You can really hear it auto-tuning there. So just a little example there for you. Seeing as you asked, Mosil21. So I hope that helps you and answers your question. By the way, this fantastic plugin that generates these lower thirds, it's available. You can view the source code and install it for yourself, made by a fantastic developer called Ule. He's in the chat, by the way, and you can access it at mrc.fm/YouTube questions. although I think I'll probably rename that to just questions, seeing as very soon it's going to broaden out and include Facebook Live, comments and questions, and eventually Twitch as well. What else have we got in this section? David Silk. May I give you a quick call from Down Under, see how much it whacks me on the old mobile bill? Go for it. Yes, if you want to call the live stream, this is a new thing. Paul Orr tried it about 15 minutes ago. David, I would love you to call the number. Add +1 to this.
415 800 1055.
Now is your time, David, to call the number +1 415 800 1055. You'll get charged as a standard call to the United States of America from Australia, where you are. I just called it from my mobile phone. I think if you got something like, you can get some apps, can't you? Like, the most common one is Skype, where you can buy Skype credit, and it costs you pennies to call different countries. So that might be a good way to do it. A telephone is going. And it's a +61 number, so I'm guessing this is Australia. G'day, you're on MRC Live. How you going?
I'm very good. This is David Silk.
David, it's wonderful to speak to you and hear your voice finally.
Yes. Finally, a down under voice.
Indeed, and it's very welcome.
I'm 20 minutes delayed on the stream, by the way.
20 minutes delayed?
Sorry, 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
20, yeah, that does sound about right, yeah. It's like the old talk radio.
Yeah.
If you have it turned up, it feeds back.
Yes.
So tell me, David...
I turned it down anyway.
Tell me about your take on subliminal audio. You're really into the world of music. Is it a real thing? Does it really work? Or is it a load of hype? What's your opinion?
I don't really know. It's been talked about often for many years. I don't know. Oh my dear, another call.
That's another call. Yeah, I'll have to work out a way of queuing them.
Oh yeah. Yes, I'm not sure if it's there or not. Really. Yeah. I'll let you go anyway to get that second call. But there you go.
That's all right. That's all right. No, I'm interested. So you're not convinced whether it has any effect on you at all.
Not on me. Gee, it's tricky, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
No, I'm not sure. No, I can't give a yay or nay on that.
Excellent. Well, David, I really appreciate you calling. This is amazing that you took the time to call from Australia, and I don't want to run up your bill, so I will let you go.
No worries. Thanks very much, Mike.
Nice to chat, David. All the best.
Talk to you later.
That's awesome.
Right, thanks. Bye-bye.
That's David Silk calling from Adelaide in Australia. And there is a slight delay, so if you do decide to call, definitely make sure that you turn down the volume on your stream so it doesn't feed back. Because we do have about between 10 to 20 second delay on the live stream reaching you from my studio. So yeah, if you want to call, the number is a US number at +1 if you're dialing internationally.
415 800 1055.
Oh, and just to add to your woes, Paul, or Joe Sami says Rosebud, or should I say Rosebud? Oh, that's a weird effect. Let's go back to my usual reverb. Rosebud. There we go. Funnily enough, talking about subliminal audio and hypnotic tapes and stuff like that, I am probably swaying towards the side that if done correctly, they can help you and they can influence you, or at least if they're not actually doing anything that is scientifically proven, I would go so far as to say I believe that if you believe it's working, then it's working. So, if you're taking at least a placebo effect from it and you're getting all these positive affirmations, and as a result, you go into your Tuesday morning feeling full of beans and ready to perform and make some great audio or do some great work, then I think job done, right? I have to say, I started off a decade or two ago now with Paul McKenna's hypnotic tapes. Anyone watching from the UK now, I'm sure will know who Paul McKenna is. And he created some fantastic tapes. I did go to a couple of his live shows as well, and it was really good fun, to say the least. Wizard AJ Gamer, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate that. I can see people tuning in on the Facebook live stream as well, so that's really good. We are going to get back to it right now and have a look at what we've got inside Adobe Audition. Back to your comments again very soon. Oh my goodness. Okay, another number. This looks like a US number calling in. Hello, MRC Live. You're on the air.
Hey, Mike, this is Joe Solomon. I just figured I would call in, too, since everybody else was.
Joe, it's great to have you there.
Thank you, sir.
So how much is this costing? It's going really well. I'm really excited to be speaking to you. One of the Spanner moderators in the chat.
All right. I just wanted to say hi.
That's brilliant. I'm very curious, Joe. How much is this costing you? How much does it cost to call across the US?
Probably doesn't cost me anything at all because I have free long distance with my carrier.
Wow, that's really good. That's great. So inside the US, most of the time you have a free call. And can I get your opinion on subliminal audio as well, Joe? What's your take on it?
I definitely believe that subliminal messages work, mainly because people remember, like you're saying, the Coke logo or the Coke sound. People remember that, and that makes them think Coke almost immediately.
Yep.
Or certain tunes or certain sounds, they instantly think of whatever it was created for. Definitely works.
Definitely works. Well, Joe, it's a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm glad that you've taken the time to call in as well.
Absolutely.
All the best.
See you in chat.
Bye. That's Joe. Amazing. I haven't taken live calls for probably nearly 7 or 8 years now since I was on the radio. So it's a bit of a learning curve getting back into that kind of fielding calls. But I enjoy it. And if you want to be a part of the show today, and I think I'll probably keep this rolling in the future, this is the number.
415-800-1055.
That's the number if you want to call into the show. And I'm really glad that I bought that number from Twilio, which is a kind of phone number provider, rather than the I was looking at different dialing area codes, and I wanted to get a New York 212, but they were all sold out. So then I looked at San Francisco and I found 415, and I thought that'll do. But I nearly bought a number in Hawaii, which I'm glad I didn't, because talking to Joe there and Paul earlier, it's continental US. So I'm guessing dialing Hawaii is a bit more expensive. But the only reason I like the Hawaiian numbers is because the dialing code is 808. And anyone who's musical would love the dialing code 808. But I only wanted it for that reason. And clearly it wouldn't have been a great idea. Going to get back to those affirmations right now and show you a little trick. And then maybe I'll show you a little bit more with how I'm setting up the phone system to call in the show, because you may well find that of interest. But right now, over here in Adobe Audition, let's get out of automatic pitch correction and go back to our affirmations. So what people will often do is they will take anything above 14,000 kilohertz. You probably won't hear anything here. Let's try it. No, nothing there. Although there is something there. Now, I just wanted to give you a warning before I go any further making these affirmations. First and foremost, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I am not medically or psychologically trained. So any of the advice I give you, you take it obviously on its face value, and I'm not responsible for any benefits or any bad things that happen to you as a result of you trying out anything that I demo to you further in this stream. So with that out of the way, first and foremost, the second warning I wanted to give to you is I am playing around with the high frequencies of this audio. Now, that's all very well, and you might say, I cannot hear anything, but I wanted to give you a hearing and speaker damage warning. Do not take this audio even later on and download it or listen back to the stream and turn your speakers up really loud to see whether you can hear anything at those high frequencies. The same with wearing headphones. Do not put the headphones on, and if you can't hear anything, do not turn the headphones up to full volume or blasting volume to try and identify if you can hear those high frequencies. Why? First and foremost, it will damage your hearing, because although you can't actually hear anything, it will be vibrating against your eardrums, and that's not obviously a good thing from a health point of view. And secondly, and I think this definitely takes second place after damaging your hearing, if you turn it up loud on speakers or even headphones, it could damage the tweeters on your speakers. So just be really careful, again, with doing all of this at your own risk. basically. So new audio file, paste that there, and there is our subliminal audio. Now you can actually see on the waveform view here, there are a few little peaks there where some audio may be audible. Let me just be really quiet. I'm going to switch off my mic and we'll see if we can hear any of these affirmations now. Okay. Bojan has the best hearing I can hear, says Bojan. There you go. Oh my goodness. So, I don't know. Can anyone hear those affirmations? If you can, just say yes in the live chat right now. Say yes if you can hear the affirmations that I played just there. That is really interesting if that is the case. But yeah, usually 14 kilohertz is the point, and then you take it and pop it into the multi-track. Probably get something nice from Logic, like for instance a pad. Let's see what we got here. Cosmos. And then you play something like this, and then you play your affirmations. And that concludes this positivity session on MRC Live. I hope you become a better person as a result. So there you go. David Silk, I've got too much background noise to hear it. I hear a high-pitched squeal. Yeah, if you've got dogs and cats, they will definitely pick up on this. And maybe children as well, because they've usually got better hearing than us adults. That's an awful sound, says Uwe. We probably need to do something to make it better, or maybe it's the remixing or the re-encoding that the audio goes through before it hits you on the live stream that's doing that. Bojan, yes, says I can hear. What else have we got in the comments and questions right now? Let's have a look. If you use Google Voice, you can call for free. Oh, that's interesting. If you want to call into the show, this is the number. 415-800-1055. And you can just add +1 if you're outside the US to get in on the action. Bojan actually says here, I worked on subliminal messaging for one of my clients, but I'm not sure it works. He wanted to layer up his original message as much as possible. So yeah, definitely grabbing the high frequencies. This is a common thing that is done, but there are other things you can do. And I was playing with this earlier, and I thought it was really cool. Audacity over here. These are my Dtmf tones, and I installed a little plugin. Let me see if I can find it for you, because there's some really cool stuff. So I've mentioned Forestmatic for the affirmation quotes. Audacity plugins such as Binaural Tones with Surf 2. Let me post a link to that in the chat, and also I'll grab the page up on the screen here. So here it is. This is Binaural Tones with Surf 2. It'll generate a sine wave tone of one constant frequency generated in left channel of a stereo track, and a series of changing tones or slightly different frequencies on the right. And then there's a lower frequency rushing sound compared with hissing white noise. So you kind of get that, again, sort of subliminal, hypnotic kind of sound that can, well, apparently if you go through beta, alpha, theta, and delta, you go into a state of trance. And I did actually cover binaural beats, because this is more heading into the binaural section, back on the live stream about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. But if you want to check it out, link is there in the live chat for you. Carl says, I may be getting old. I used to be able to hear a lot higher frequencies. I know hearing does seem to deteriorate, and it's the high frequencies that go first. Yeah, Bojan, absolutely. Please keep in mind that older you are, the less high frequencies you are able to hear. Skyly, I actually used one for 9 months or so. I used one for personality and charisma. I am a bit better from last year, but I'm not sure if it's because of my subconscious or not, or the subliminal messages or not. Yeah. English for technical aviation. I use Kelly Howell soundtracks for Subliminal audio for the past 4 years, and it works great for me. So, yeah, it's interesting. You know, there really are mixed opinions there on whether subliminals work or not. William is there. Hey, William, it's good to see you in the chat on my Facebook personal profile. And William quite rightly reminds me of 528 megahertz being a good subliminal frequency. And I believe 432, they call it the God frequency, don't they? The God frequency, 432 hertz. Yes, that's right. So that's a good tone to be looking into, or good set of frequencies there to be looking into. So thank you very much for all the live comments. It's great to see that you've got so much to say. I'm just going to go into Generate Binaural Tones with Surf 2, demonstrate this to you. Now, the first thing I wanted to show you, because I couldn't get this to work at first, it's got lots of little dials, and when I click preview, it comes out with an error. Nyquist returned too many audio channels, and that's because Audacity automatically creates a mono channel, and too many channels means you need a stereo track. So add new stereo track. There we go. Make sure it's selected, and then generate binaural tones, and we should be able to do something here like this. Ooh, I feel like I'm on the beach now. Whoa. And now we'll read a few subliminals with these binaural beats playing away. Doing what you love is the cornerstone of having abundance in your life. Hold a picture of yourself long and steadily enough in your mind's eye, and you'll be drawn towards it. Very wise words from Napoleon Hill. So there we go. So yeah, I haven't really had the chance to play with these binaural tone generators, but I thought, seeing as I did a live stream on this before, it was worth mentioning it to you as something that you could use to generate background noises. You can, of course, if you wish, use the old synthesizer. If you're working in something like Logic Pro, that's my go-to of choice for creating funky, cool, hypnotic sounds. So you can put all your subliminal audio over that. I was just wondering, 14 kilohertz seems to be a nice cutoff point for affirmations, but we could always sweep down, see what other frequencies we can get in. As you're going... Let's bring that in. Now I can definitely hear something there at 8 kilohertz. There's definitely something there at 8 kilohertz. 10. I can still hear something at 10. 12. Can still hear something at 12. Yeah, I'm losing it at 14, I have to say. Definitely at 16. Can't hear it there. So, yeah, maybe 13. Need to turn my mic off, hang on. Yeah, there's a tiny bit. I think actually I was getting a tiny bit at 14 as well, but with background noise it's hard to hear. You could go the other way, obviously, and you could just select the bass. As long as you're going to be thinking anyway, think big. You can just about make out the words. There is a school of thought saying that, well, if you can't hear what's being said, then how can your subconscious hear what is being said? Which is actually a very, very good point. So, yeah, I mean, there are definitely different schools of thoughts. Bear in mind, if you are making these kind of suggestions for yourself and you want to get the frequencies above 14,000 hertz, and embed them with a nice music bed, you may well want to save your file as .wav or .af or .flac and not .mp3. Now, I know a lot of subliminal tapes come in the MP3 format, but it is obviously a lossy format, and when we're working with high frequencies, we've lost enough of the audio as it is, so we just need to be careful there. So always take it with a pinch of salt when somebody says they're going to sell you a subliminal MP3 file, and look for quality, or even better, kind of use some of these techniques and make the subliminals for yourself. In this section of the show, and before I get to your next comments in about 7 minutes from now, I wanted to open up a page from Wikipedia. and give you another side of the argument, because I kind of hinted towards these things could work, they could be something good for you, but you want to look up subliminal stimuli on Wikipedia, which literally means below threshold, as Wikipedia describes. Well, visual stimuli we're all familiar with. That's where you have a quick, maybe a frame flashed in front of you of something, and then it goes back to whatever cartoon or whatever TV show you're watching. I know there have been a few outrageous incidents where there was a TV show on in America, I believe. I read this somewhere yesterday. There was a healthy cooking TV show, and just for one frame, it flashed up the McDonald's logo. It's like, that's just awful, isn't it? I definitely believe that there's something up with that. There's something not quite right there. And there was another thing, I think it's when George W. Bush was going for presidency, and they flashed up the word rats in the middle of his presidential advertisement. So that's visual stimuli, but we don't often hear about audio stimuli, do we? So that's below audible volumes, as I've mentioned, masked usually by other stimuli like music or synthesizers or something like that. But I wanted to jump further down in this article and talk to you a little bit about auditory masking. And that's one method for doing this. It involves hiding the target stimulus in some way, so it has an effect, but not a large one, apparently, according to studies. One study used other speech-like sounds to cover up what the words were actually saying, and the study found evidence of priming in the absence of awareness of the stimuli. But the effects of these substantial stimuli were only seen in one of the outcome measures of priming, while the other effects of conscious stimuli were seen in multiple outcome measures. Interesting. So yeah, in an experimental study on the influence of subliminal target words embedded into a music track on choice behavior for a drink, authors found no evidence of a manipulative effect. So maybe that does or does not make you thirsty, that musical note. Little render there. Also a very interesting couple of paragraphs here about self-help audio recordings, which is obviously what we get into quite heavily when we think about subliminal audio. And there have been a couple of studies on this, nothing I think in too much depth, but this one is interesting. So I think somewhere in Germany, according to the reference I was looking at earlier, the rational emotive therapy significantly improved scores on all measures, including cognition, self-concept, self-esteem, and anxiety, but not behavior. So that's interesting. So one study in Germany revealed that maybe there is something in this self-help subliminal stuff. Results for the subliminal stimulation group were similar to those of placebo treatment, however, except for a significant self-concept improvement and a decline in self-concept related irrational cognitions. Okay, so what I'm hearing there is if you believe it, then it's true, right? Even if it's a placebo. So basically science is saying, we don't know, we can't prove it one way or another. Love to get your thoughts on this. 415-800-1055 at +1 if you're outside the United States, or listen to the jingle. This is the number to call in and you get live on with me on the live stream. If you call outside the live stream, by the way, I'll show you this in a minute. You'll get a voicemail greeting and you can leave me a message.
415-800-1055
is the number to call if you would like to get on with me in these last sort of 18 minutes or so. There was another study as well, which investigated the effects of self-help tapes on self-esteem and memory. Volunteers wanted to improve their self-esteem or their memory. They were recruited to take several memory tests before being given a self-help tape. And of course, some were given tapes that did have genuine helping subliminal messaging, and others were placebo effect, just random music or songs, I guess. Now, although subjects believed their self-esteem or memory improved based on which tape they believed they had, even when they had a placebo or mislabeled tape, those who had tapes labeled as self-esteem tapes felt their self-esteem had increased, and the same with memory, okay? So if you see it on a label, then you believe it, even if it's real or not. That's very interesting. So we're kind of going the other way there, aren't we? Okay, let's get into more of your comments and questions. I think it's about time now as we head into the last 15 minutes of the show. This is an interesting one. David Lewis, do supermarkets use subliminal messages in store? That's so interesting, isn't it? And it does make me wonder. Yeah. Mark blogs to aisle 5, blogs to aisle 5, blogs to aisle 5, Mark blogs to aisle 5, blogs to aisle 5, blogs to aisle 5, now. Obviously not that kind of announcement, but yeah, it's funny. I mean, yeah, supermarkets, I tend to like to spend as little time in them as possible. But over the weekend just been, because we were travelling on the move, we did happen to pop into a certain well-known supermarket here in the UK that does full English breakfasts and the kids eat free. I think you know what supermarket that is if you're from the UK. And we were sitting there, Isabella, I, and the kids, and noticed that they were playing music throughout the store. I thought, well, first of all, they've got to have a PRS license or, a music royalty license to be able to play the music inside that store. But secondly, it did make me wonder if the kind of music they were playing over the tannoy system in the supermarket was there to encourage certain buying behaviors or encourage you to stay longer. One thing I did notice is it was all very upbeat. It was like, wham, I'm your man, and all of that kind of stuff. And if you want to do it, right? And I was like, yeah, I suddenly feel like buying more stuff because I'm happy. Maybe that's the idea. I don't know. I can't prove it. Haven't looked into it. Haven't read any research on it, so I'm not speaking from authority here. But yeah, it was very upbeat for sure in this well-known UK chain of supermarkets in the north of England. So yeah, it does make me wonder. Didn't they do a test in subway stations, I think maybe even in New York, where they found that playing classical music over the subway announcement system kind of relaxed people, and there were less violent crimes and less problems. So I do believe that audio does have some kind of subliminal effect on you. It must do. So interesting. Joe, Mike, can you do me a favor and pan your audio left to right? Want to see if Facebook is in stereo. Oh, Joe, I hope you're still over there on Facebook and can try this out. If you're listening in stereo, this audio is on the left channel, and this audio is on the right channel. Left, right. There you go. And we got Mr. Mega Radio UK. Hi, Mike. I'm tuned in. I made another countdown timer. If you'd like to share it. Oh, that's wonderful. And yes, absolutely. Countdown timers are all the rage right now for starting shows and beginning live streams. I couldn't live without my countdown timer and my ohms at the start of the Music Radio Creative live stream. So brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Loads of other stuff going on in the chat. It's great to have you tuning in wherever you happen to be watching today. And there's a load of interesting stuff. Funny that most people turn down hard limited to 0.01 dB on music. Sounds are used in advertisings to persuade people to buy products, says Renato in the chat. Juan's in. Hey, great to see you, Juan. Thanks for joining in. Bojan, maybe combine everything below 40 hertz and above 14. Ooh, now you're talking. Let's just do that for a second. So that's about 100. That's about 50, 100. Whoa, okay. Copy. And we need to do a mix paste, don't we, over here? Need to do a mix paste. Edit. Mix paste, and we want to make sure to overlap, mix. Okay, now we got some lows and some highs. Ooh, gonna turn my microphone off and listen to these affirmations. Yeah, I can hear a whooping kind of which is very, very interesting indeed. Really good questions. The tones crashed my internet speed. Was that the strange frequencies or the Dtmf tones I played earlier? Not quite sure about that. Joe's looking for anyone who's new to the stream. Just type new into the chat. Be lovely to see you there and give you a mention. Really, really interesting stuff. in the chat today. Really love reading your live chats as you mention them. William says, it's been found that when Ger music is played in grocery stores, sales of German products rise, and the same for when French music is played in French stores. Products rose. Or French music is played in German stores, maybe. French, ooh la la, wow. Yeah, that's so interesting. And that I really, there's so much clever stuff you can do with audio. Being on top of these subliminals, audio is a powerful thing. Absolutely. Joe says it's still mono on Facebook, unfortunately. Oh, we got a call. MRC Live, you're on the air. Hello, who's this? You're cracking up a little bit.
Oh, right. That's me.
It's kind of every second word is coming in.
Hey.
Oh, that's such a shame. I'm going to have to say goodbye. Maybe you can call back and try again. If you do want to call the live show,
415-800-1055.
And just while we're on the subject of calling the show, I think I'm going to make this a regular feature, by the way, because I like the interactivity. Obviously, I love having you there in the live chat during the stream and responding to your comments. But I love it even better when somebody calls in and we can have a bit of a natter on air and maybe discuss topics related to audio. Like today, we're discussing subliminal audio. In the last sort of 10 or so minutes, I wanted to show you this because I thought you might find it interesting, especially if you're a business. Yeah, Renato says, you just had the phone stutter effect. Yes, and I didn't even need to use Adobe Audition for it. I did want to show you this, which is awesome. It's a little piece of open source software. You can get the source code at GitHub called OpenVBX, and it's made by Twilio. It hasn't been updated for a while, but it works really well. And we've got obviously the MRC main number, which is 01983. Oh, let's try this one. MRC Live, you're on the air. Please turn down your audio so it doesn't feed back.
It's down. Sorry.
Oh, nice. Who's this?
Mike, it's Paul Orr one more time.
Paul, welcome back. Hey.
Thank you. I have an example of the kind of audio that you're talking about that I didn't think of when I was talking to you before, that I just wanted to mention very quickly.
Okay, go for it.
I programmed a radio station where the morning show they were up against a heritage morning show that everybody had listened to for a long time in the market. And they would record these very naughty comments about that morning show. They were really kind of terrible comments. And then they would take that audio and put it into their imaging and turn the volume down to where it was just below where you could hear it. And they were convinced that it would cause people that heard that to believe these messages about their competition. So,
were there naughty words included, Paul? Or was it just clean stuff? But
they weren't naughty words, but just the very idea. They were really kind of terrible thoughts, like that they did horrible things. So I don't know if it worked.
I love that. That's
they did end up beating that morning show eventually. So who knows? Maybe it worked.
Maybe it worked. That's I love that idea. That's great, and I'm sure any other radio people watching right now can probably take that and implement that themselves. If it works, if we can believe anything about subliminal audio, you may as well try it. If it's below or above a certain frequency and no one can hear it, then give it a go.
There you go. Well, I just wanted to share that.
Brilliant story, Paul. I'm really glad you called in with that.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thanks again, Mike.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wow. Paul Orr there calling in from Tennessee. I think that's fantastic. So there were, just to sum up what Paul was saying, in case you missed a part of that, there were two competing morning radio shows, and one radio show decided they would record kind of naughty things, slagging off the other radio station and radio show, and then insert it in the imaging. That's brilliant. That is genius, isn't it? I love that. 415-800-1055. If you've got a good calling plan in the US, that should be a free call for you. Otherwise, make sure you check before you dial. Use Skype or check with your call provider. What else have we got in here that's worth talking about? If you do that, you could very well call it Mike Russell Show, but it should last at least 3 hours. Guyan Luca. Is that with regards to the call-in thingy that I'm doing at the moment? David, I was thinking of calling, but I'm sure companies got in trouble for plugging products and steering customers towards their brands. Yeah, you've got to be careful with this. Yeah, Bojan, I have to do that on my radio. There you go. Now, all the imaging producers watching this now, go and put subliminals in your imaging. But be careful, because with great power comes great responsibility, right? That's a classic call from Paul. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, Paul is calling into this number here on the screen, 415-800-1055. And if you want like a switchboard for your business, cannot recommend, if you can get your head around Twilio, getting hold of OpenVBX and running it on your own server. This, for me, is phenomenal. I can buy a phone number from Twilio for $1 every month. That's all it costs to buy these numbers. And I can set it up inside this piece of this software that runs on a server, and it will do all kinds of stuff, right? So this morning, I just added 415-800-1055 in addition to our UK number, which is our main number that obviously is for customer service. This is for the live show exclusively. But the thing I love about this the best is it's like the... you may have heard of If This Then That, the online Internet of Things service that, you know, if I post a photo to Instagram, put it on Twitter kind of thing. Well, this is kind of like If This Then That for phone numbers. So I purchased this for $1 earlier on from Twilio, and then I inserted the phone number in, and if I click Edit Call Flow, I then get this, pops up on my screen. What would you like to do when someone calls? So at the moment, I've got SIP, which is... what would you call it? VoIP, voice over IP calling to me, to my Mac directly. So I can say, yeah, call my SIP address, and then it gets straight through to me. But what I'm going to do just now, because I recorded some messages earlier in Adobe Audition, and I wanted to show you how cool this piece of software is. MRC Live Phone. You can actually record your own custom phone ring. So this is my ring. So when that goes off, I know I've got a call. And then I've got a message like this I recorded earlier for anyone who calls when I'm on air. Hey, Mike here. Thanks for calling MRC Live. We're on air right now. Get ready. You're getting transferred to the live show right now. Okay, so that's my recording that I made earlier on. That's not currently active because I thought just for testing, I'll make it so it goes straight through to me rather than getting a priming message. But now I'm going to add these in. And I thought I'd do this live on the live stream because I thought it would be of value to you to see how cool this piece of software is and what you can do. So if this, then that. So I'm going to delete my applet here that goes through to VoIP, and then I can drop in an applet. So you can do all kinds of things here. You can have like a menu, so press 1 for sales, 2 for, technical, 3 for customer service, that kind of thing. But what I want here, I've got a monkey face here, timing, drop that applet in, and then I can say, when do I want my phone to come through to my Mac? Because obviously I don't want it to be ringing on my Mac when I'm off the live stream. So I can put in the timings here. I can say from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. I'm actually just going to do this for Monday and Tuesday for the moment, so you can just... so I don't have to go through and do every day. But eventually I would put every weekday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. UK time. That's my server's current time. So if someone calls during my open hours, I would like them to get a greeting. So put in that greeting. And then I can upload an MP3 file I recorded, which is phenomenal. So go into downloads here, MRC Live Phone, on air. So they'll get the on air greeting. Hey, Mike here. Thanks for calling MRC Live. Okay, so that's my recording there for when I'm open. And then when I go off the air, when this show finishes, I can put another greeting here, or actually it would be a voicemail. And I think, yeah, there's one for voicemail here. So when it's off air, go to voicemail, upload, and I've got one for off air. Hey, Mike here. Thanks for calling MRC Live. We're off air right now. So there we go. So that's what you'll get. And that voicemail will then go through. I can select who I am. So Mike Russell here. And that will go through to my inbox. And I'll personally get your voicemails when I'm not live. So you can call this number when I'm not doing the live show. So that is now set up. Inside the greeting here. Got my greeting here. After the initial prompt, I want it to go through to my my VoIP phone. And I just pop in my VoIP address here. Let's get this correct. It's a Twilio address. There we go. That should work. Caller ID should be the caller's number. And if nobody answers, then we're going to take a voicemail. And I'm going to upload on air busy. Whoops, sorry. Looks like I'm a bit busy on the live stream. So there we go. That's something I recorded earlier. And now that's all set up. And oh yes, I need to set that will then come through to my inbox here in OpenVBX. Set up all of that. What's left to do is just put in Wednesday, Thursday and Friday's live show times. Click save. And now, hopefully, if I call through to the live show, let's call my recents here. Let's see. Okay, calling now, and hopefully you'll hear. There we go.
Please leave a message after the beep.
Oh, please leave a message after the beep. That's interesting. Please leave a message after the beep. I don't really want to do that. Yes, maybe I needed to click save, but eventually all of these rules will be implemented and they will work amazingly on this number that I bought for $1 from Twilio. That's all it's costing me. I don't think I pay anything, or I pay a very small amount to receive calls. I pay a little bit, obviously, to make calls. That obviously makes sense. But yeah, OpenVBX, go and check it out on GitHub. It's a very interesting piece of software, and yeah, I'm going to be using it in the future on the live show. I'm about to go, but if you want to leave me a voicemail message, you can do so on this number, +1 if you're outside the US.
415-800-1055.
Have yourself a great Tuesday, and I'm back again tomorrow for another live stream.